All right, what is going on, 49ers fans? I had to go live this morning, which I was planning on doing a mock draft. We're going to do that a little bit later. But my emails and DMs are blowing up about Deebo Samuel. So let's talk Deebo, okay? And rest assured, if you saw the freaking thumbnail, if you saw the title, Deebo Samuel's not going anywhere, okay? He is going to be a 49ers for the future. That's it, period. We're going to hear John Lynch here in a second. Listen to me whenever I say this, okay? So here's what happens. An article goes out from Rich Committee, who, he's the ESPN guy, saying that Robert Saleh is looking on the contracts of a handful of different wide receivers, DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, A.J. Brown, all those things. Obviously, the Jets were one of the teams that were trying to get Tyreek Hill and put up a decent trade offer, okay? And they lost out on that. They didn't get it. So, yeah, it makes sense that they're going to watch for other wide receivers. But hear this out. I get it. Robert Saleh, he was here. How could he do this to us? Listen to me. Listen to this statement. All 31 other teams in the NFL, all of them, are watching Deebo Samuel. All 31 teams in the NFL want Deebo Samuel. Now, the 32nd team, the 49ers, right? They have him. This is the last year of his deal, his rookie contract. Does he want an extension? Of course. Is he going to get an extension? Of course. Is it going to be more than everybody thought? Yeah, probably. But he is a guy that is the entire offense goes through Deebo. Like, I hate that I even have to address this. So a couple things that you have to keep in mind. One, no, I don't even think the 49ers are listening to offers. Now, if somebody blew you out of the water and offered 7 first-round picks, then yeah, you take it for almost any player. That's not happening. That's not happening. If you look at the deals that Devontae Adams or Tyreek Hill got, man, I don't know. I don't want that compensation back. I don't want a first and a second round pick. Like I would prefer to have Deebo. Look what he did. He was the most important player in the playoffs. Go back to the Cowboys game. Look what he did. We get the turnover. K'Wan Williams intercepts it. He goes to the head coach and says, give me the ball. One play scoring drive for like 32 yards. We won the game barely, right? You go to the Green Bay game. Zero offense, except for Deebo. And on special teams, like what he was able to accomplish, that's why we beat the Packers. You don't trade that for what? Yeah, there's the old Family Guy clip where he's like, all right, congratulations, Peter. You won a boat. Or you could take this mystery box. Well, what's in the mystery box? I don't know. It could be anything, even a boat. Like, come on, guys. Come on. Don't fall for this crap. It ain't happening. Tommy, thank you. He says, trade the MVP? Hell effing no. Almost dropped an F-bomb on there. It's not happening. Okay, and I don't want this, this is going to be a short episode, but rest assured, Deebo is coming back. I don't care. Did you see the offer that the Jets offered for Tyreek? It was two second-round picks. That's what it was. No. No. Deebo is getting paid. And if you don't believe me, that's cool. Let's listen to the general manager himself. This was at the Combine. Ash Wednesday, we have a visual representation of the day it was. He was asked about Nick Bosa and Deebo Samuel. Now, those are two different completely timelines and numbers. Deebo is the only one that is paramount now because Nick Bosa was a first-round pick, so he has that fifth-year option. So Nick Bosa is already secured for the 2023 season, and he's getting $20 million guaranteed already for that. So, that's a whole different thing. Deebo's contract expires after this year. So here is John Lynch, your general manager, talking about how Deebo fits into the future.
I mean, as good a players as those guys are, but I do know this is that, those guys are – in my mind, they're no absolutes, but those guys are going to be 49ers. They're foundational to what we do on the field. Their play is special, and off the field, in their own way, they've each become really big time leaders for our team. They make their teammates better, and we realize all that value. And, two special players, good issue to have. And we do have good communication and good relationships with both their representatives as well as both the players. I think what I've learned in my, going years in this business is when both sides have the motivation, deals can get done. So the timing, I have no idea, but we'll go to work here and have been working to try to do something.
So again, he's coming back. And why would Deebo want to leave? Why? Why would he want to leave? There's no reason for him to want to leave. It's in his own financial best interest to get a deal done with us, because if not, then he's going to play this year on his current rookie deal, which isn't much. So it helps him. It helps him big time if he stays here. Tommy, thank you for the gift, man. He says, another gift from my favorite Niners guy on YouTube. Man, appreciate it, man. Thank you, Tommy. Now, the timeline, the 49ers have already set a precedent on timelines for extensions of their own guys. George Kittle, right? Then you look at Fred Warner. Then it's the third year in a row that we've had this pay so-and-so some superstar that you drafted and developed. It's going to take place during minicamp. You've got time. There's no issues. There's no rush. You're going to be just fine. Now, if you're looking at the deals of Davante Adams and you're saying, man, how much is this cat going to get paid? Initially, I was thinking like $18 million range. That's out the window. New contracts, everything changes. The cap is spiking. There's record level contracts at every single position, quarterback, wide receiver, all over the place. So that's going to continue. Davante Adams, right? He signs a 5-year, quote, $140 million deal, end quote. Yeah, it's not what it is. Average salary of $28 million a year. No, that's not what it is either. You look down, he's got 2 void years or a possible out on this in 2025 and 2026. And now those cap hits are bananas. There's no way. He's 30 years old. They've got him signed through 34. Deebo's 26, guys. There's a big difference between trading Davante Adams, who didn't want to be there at all. He wanted to go home and play with his college quarterback, Derek Carr, which is bananas to me. But whatever, for whatever reason. Tyreek Hill, he was all about the money. He said he told Kansas City, I want what Davante Adams got. I want that money. Kansas City says, we don't have it. We're not going to pay you. We can't pay you. So find a trade and find somebody else that will pay you. He found that in Miami. What did Tyreek get, right? He got a 4-year, $120 million deal, which comes out to about $30 million average salary. But again, rest assured, that deal's not happening either. He's 28 right now. And the final year, which has a $50 million cap hit, listen to this, that's what it is on paper. But if he gets cut, they save $45 million on that last year. No way in hell, unless he continues to put up the exact same numbers, which I doubt he's going to do at age 33, which is the 2026 year. So forget the numbers, okay? And I just talked about this earlier. Forget the numbers. Whenever you hear so-and-so signed this player for this much money, that is the agent, that is propaganda, that is falsities. Now, you can say all those things, but the void years are real. My guess, when it is all said and done, Deebo will come in around $22 million a year. Now, that's not what the number is going to say, right? So if he signed 4 years, $22 million, that'd be a 4-year, $88 million deal. That's not what it's going to be. Instead, it's going to be like a 4-year, $125 million deal. But whenever you break it all down, it's going to be around $22 million. And the 49ers have it budgeted for it. You're just fine. You're going to be able to handle that. This is the last year that Jimmy Garoppolo's going to be on the books. He might not even be on the books this year. Still has time to trade him. That alone, and I think that's one big reason also why this deal isn't done yet. Let's say you trade Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, all the free agents are gone now. All the prize ones, most of the prize ones. I don't think that you bring in other free agents. I think you front load a little bit of the Deebo Samuel deal. So, for example, you look at, again, let's just use Tyreek Hill as an example. His first year cap hit is $6 million. Year 2, his cap hits 31. So if the 49ers trade Jimmy and then extend Deebo, guess what? You could take a big chunk instead of just $6 million that first year. You can make it, 10 to 12 million and then lower the cap hit in the future whenever you do that Bosa deal, things like that. Deebo's not going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, at all. Can you franchise him as a running back? I don't think that'll work. And again, if you franchise Deebo as a wide receiver or a running back, you're not keeping him long term. And now you're creating a hostile situation. I don't think you want to do that. His snaps, he has more snaps at the wide receiver position, which is what the NFL goes by. If you go back to the Jimmy Graham debate back when he was with the Saints and they were franchising him, they franchised him as a tight end instead of a wide receiver. And the NFL ruled, the arbitrator ruled, because he had more snaps in line than out wide. Therefore, it's the tight end role. So that's going to happen with Deebo as well. I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, Bobby says, man, I thought this was breaking news. He got an extension. It's going to be time for that. But again, like, I gauge the pulse of the listeners and the show and all these things whenever I start getting ding, 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 ding on my mailbox or in my DMs, and they're all over the same thing. I know, all right, let's step up. Let's put out the fire, because all this other BS that's out there, don't listen to that. Just because somebody says they're looking for Deebo and watching Deebo, that doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. We are playing to win a Super Bowl. There's no doubt about that. Seahawks are not. Seahawks are not. DK, that might be a viable option. Thank you, Shot Jay. Says, felt like interrupting again. Salute, brother. Thank you so much. And, you know, I'll say this, and I think I agree here with GD. Deebo, Kittle, Bosa will be here for a while. Foundational pieces that go 100% with the persona of the 49ers, right? Bosa, all around one of the best defensive ends in football. There's no, what's he better at? Pass rushing or run game? He's elite at both. Kittle, what's he great at? The best run blocking tight end in the NFL. Guess what? We're a predominantly run-oriented offense. Yards after catch, which is everything that Kyle Shanahan preaches and drafts. Kittle's the best at it of any tight end. Deebo's the best at it, at any wide receiver. Foundational pieces. You don't move on from those. You move on from other people. You move on from Arden Key. You move on from Laken Tomlinson. You move on from DJ Jones. Do those hurt? Yes. Are any of them foundational pieces? I'm going to argue no. Deebo, foundational. I'm going to say this. Without Deebo Samuel this year, you don't make the playoffs. Without Deebo Samuel, you don't beat the Cowboys in the wild card round. Without Deebo Samuel, you don't beat the Packers. Without Deebo Samuel, that NFC Championship game isn't even competitive. That's the difference this guy makes. I don't give a damn if he gets $26 million fully guaranteed for 4 years. They're not going to do that. But you keep him. You keep him. You keep him. No matter what, you keep him. He's not going anywhere. Al's probably one of my favorite people. Shout out to Al. He's smarter than I am probably at all this 49er stuff. I wish he'd start his own show. He says, how in the world are so many incredibly ignorant fans out there? Engage brain before opening mouth. Well, yeah. And it's where we are today, you know, and everybody gets the blurbs. Oh, Sayla eyeing Deebo. And I get that. He is. Everybody is. Like, he coached them. He knows them. They're friends. So, yeah, it makes sense. They have a need. They have money. They have capital. Yeah, he's eyeing it. I get it. He's up for contract. But no. And I can't say this. You know, I believe it was Field Yates who tweeted this out. This past month, there have been more first-round picks traded than any other month in the history of the NFL. So it is crazy season. And this has been one of the most wild off seasons that we've had in a while. But rest assured, Deebo Samuel is not going anywhere. Foundational. You got me? You got me. I hope you got me. Love you guys. Appreciate you. We'll be back live later on today with the mock draft. I'll get that done probably after lunch and all those things. But we'll be back with that. So appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe, like. Be around, baby. We got new content coming out all the freaking time now. We are stepping up our game. Appreciate you. Deebo's not going anywhere, and hopefully neither are you. Stay strong, faithful.